Hi everybody, and welcome to this RamBase partner gathering. We are streaming live from the premises of the Norwegian Architecture and Design Center, Doga in Oslo. And here at Doga, they believe that architecture can help solve the problems of tomorrow. And the same can be said for RamBase. We are problem solvers. And for today's stream, we will talk about how RamBase, together with our partners, solve problems for our customers every day. We have 1 hour together filled with lots of exciting content. We are thrilled to give you a sneak peek into the Åbakke implementation journey. We have promising customer cases to talk about, and we have our RamBase partner sales team that will introduce themselves. And of course, we have new features and functions to talk about. Our live chat is open during our time together, so feel free to leave a comment during our time. And with us for today's stream, we have our CSO, Odd Magne Vea. Welcome.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Last time we were together, we were also digital, and since then we have had.
Yeah, we hadn't lost digital, and I was really kind of looking forward to having an in-person meeting and having meeting all the new partners face to face. We have quite a few new partners that we haven't met in person yet, so I was looking forward to that. But given these travel restrictions and the way things are in the world right now, we think that it's okay to have another live event or digital live event, and then we'll look forward to having the next one in person.
And how has this year been for RamBase? With a global pandemic, closed borders, and customers worrying about lockdown and everything being just restricted.
It's been a challenging year for us, as it has been for everyone. And the first priority has, of course, been to keep the employees safe and keep RamBase operation running. We have managed to do that quite okay, I think. So, but we also have had periods with fewer restrictions here in Norway, and I think we have used them as good as we can. And the main story, of course, to say is that we have been fully operational, but also we have done a lot of commercial things on the right side. So, for instance, early in the pandemic, we were able to sign Setrab in Sweden, a really interesting customer. Right before Christmas, we also signed a new customer in Poland, Recomedic. And in Norway, together with a couple of other customers, we also signed maybe our largest customer yet, Åbakke, right before Christmas. So we have done a lot of positive commercial things as well.
And we have 4 films planned to document the Åbakke implementation. And 2 of them we have ready for our live session today. Let's take a look at the first one, detailing the implementation process for Åbakke.
We saw a need to change our ERP system due to lack of data quality and lack of flexibility with the old system that we have.
The sales department, they have their own system. They work in Excel and other systems. And the finance do the same. They have a lot of Excel work.
We had to go into the market and look for a new one, more modern architecture and more integration-friendly solution that could help us take Åbakke to the next level.
Åbakke is a model customer for RamBase. They are a best-in-class production company. They have high demands from their customers and they have high demands for their vendors. So the fit for RamBase to deliver to such a demanding customer is really good for us.
We struggle a little bit with interactions between the departments, so we think that with introducing RamBase from quote to delivery would streamline our communication and avoid having to input data many times, which is time-consuming and waste.
This is a big implementation process. They have 300 users that have to learn the system. There's setup that needs to be done. There's data migration. So it's a complex system.
It's a quite heavy workload to integrate such a complex system in a very complex operation without losing efficiency.
But I'm quite sure that we have good control, we have a professional customer, and we have a professional project management that is doing really well up to now. So this will be a great implementation process.
We have a partnership more than a supplier-customer relation with RamBase, which is really valuable. And we need that to be able to reach our targets.
So now it's all 300 people is ready to start up.
Årbakke is really an exciting customer case for RamBase. They are known in Norway for being leaders when it comes to automation and smart factory solutions. And why is their kind of business such a perfect match for RamBase, Odd Magne?
Well, we can say that the production module is essentially made for companies like Årbakke. Order-based production, a lot of focus on margin control, traceability and documentation. So it's a really good fit for them. And when we showed them our standard processes, they could relate to them right away. One thing that is really interesting with Årbakke is they have really understood kind of the power and the upsides with using IT and digitization in the factories. So they have a really good understanding on how to use this to really gain a business advantage. The challenge with this is, of course, that they have always gotten whatever they wanted internally. So they have essentially built their own ERP system on top of M3, which they are already using almost. So they have modifications almost down to a personal level. So the switch to a standardized SaaS system is quite a huge one. But I think that will be an interesting challenge for them. But the change in RamBase, that even if you can configure things, you still are kind of bound to the main processes. I think this is, of course, one of the upsides as well with the system. So I think they will relate to that when we get forward now. So they have a challenging journey in front of them.
So they are used to customizations, but still they signed on for a software as a service solution like RamBase.
Yeah, and it's all about telling them the benefits of standard processes and of course then see that there are potential for some compromise on both sides. They understand that it's not their invoicing process or how they receive goods that makes them special and makes them kind of outcompete their competition. It's much bigger than that, and the upsides of moving into a future-proof system and focus on what they really can make to take advantage of that when it comes to integrations and the software platform itself, that's really huge. So they have been running kind of an almost personalized system and they're on 100 million euros turnover. So it's quite a heavy risk they have been running depending on single persons to do development. So it could not go on that way. So our modern integration and platform technology will allow them to get the best of two worlds, I think. And then they can invest their time and energy in what really matters instead of making everything for themselves.
And this is the biggest customer for RamBase so far.
Yeah, I think AutoStore is bigger in turnover and will probably surpass them in users as well quite soon. But it's the biggest customer that we have sold to in the open market. And thus also it's a really important customer for us. And what makes it even more important is that they will use almost every inch of the RamBase system, all the modules, all the functionality. And that makes it a really, really challenging customer, but also a really good reference customer. And we have a long sales history with Årbakke, so it's really good to finally kind of sign on to what we have wanted on both, or people have wanted on both sides for quite a long time.
And how is the implementation project going so far?
The implementation is done by Mazepa, who was our first implementation partner. We are now in the end of a really challenging and very deep and detailed gap fit process. We are supporting Mazepa mostly on the technical side, but we are heavily involved as well. So there will be a lot of integration work, and we are kind of mapping out all the details of this now. And we are also aligning some of the RamBase roadmap to their future needs, so that they see that some of the things that they will not get now, they will actually get in the standard software in the future. So A lot of challenging discussions and also some requests for them to change on how they are working and to better fit into the system.
And those discussions and challenges are the topic of our next Åbakke film. Let's take a look at their evaluation of the implementation process.
Åbakke is a highly digitalized company. We have what we call a Smart Factory initiative, which is Industry 4.0 in our context. The purpose of connecting everything is to be able to improve and to learn from our own behavior. We need to put all the information, all the data into context, because if you have contextualized data, then you can harvest value from it. If the data stands alone in a silo, it's basically worthless.
We really like the way Åbakke thinks about technology and how they have organized their own IT systems. They have invested in an integration platform and they also use a lot of time on the Smart Factory initiative, using data to take the right decisions and affecting the business in a best possible way.
ERP system is a key component in running a factory like Åbakke. We need to have extensive support of data extraction from all our systems, such as tool management, Smart Factory and other solutions. And we connect everything through Azure technologies and APIs. Currently we are in a gap fit process with an extensive workshop to make sure we have attention to all the small details. We need to make sure that everything is covered and ready before we go live.
This is a very challenging project, both for us in RamBase and also for the customer. It's a strict timeline. We are doing it quite fast. It also a lot of details that needs to be figured out and needs to be put in the right place.
We don't expect RamBase to solve all our IT needs, but we expect RamBase to be a good fit for our future development and improvements and continuous digitalization program. We think that RamBase is a future-proof system for Åbakke.
Åbakke is our biggest challenge so far, but we have more interesting customer cases happening in our other markets as well. Can you elaborate some more, Odd Magne?
Yes, I think we can start in Norway or continue in Norway with some of the most recent news. BDO signed a new customer last week called Vestcontrol. It's an electronic manufacturer with approximately 120 employees, and they are in great growth. So it's a really interesting customer and they are a really good RamBase fit. It's also nice to see that we are signing more customers within electronics, being this kind of our origins coming from the electronics business. But I think this case will be a really good reference customer, both in Norway but also in the other countries and other markets to showcase how good a fit we are for this kind of industry. Also, I want to highlight a case that is not signed yet, but what I have really high hopes for, a case we are doing together with Arribatec. Arribatec is both a RamBase partner and also a Unit 4 partner. And they are working on a case, a group company with a lot of entities which are going to use Unit 4, but one of the companies needed RamBase or needed a manufacturing support, and then Arribatec could offer RamBase here. So we are kind of an enabler for the whole case, and it's really interesting to see how we can co-deliver in these kind of cases and kind of open up maybe new possibilities for both their offerings. So I think that will be a really exciting case, and it's supposed to close now before summer, so I'm really excited about it.
And what about our other markets? What's happening there?
Yes, in Sweden we are getting closer to go live for Setrab. This is Ariser's first RamBase implementation project, and it's a really exciting customer. And Ariser has been doing a really good job with integrations and kind of going through this implementation in the COVID period. This is an automotive customer and our first automotive customer in RamBase, and I think it will open up a lot of new opportunities, especially maybe within Poland. And Setrab is also going to roll out the solution to Poland after they go live in Sweden. So that's really interesting. And in Poland, we have Recomedic nearer to go live. That's IT Vision's first RamBase sale. It's quite a small customer, but still an interesting one, and it will be a good reference locally in Poland. And we have some other cases there getting closer to signature that we hope to get quite a few new customers there before summer, actually. And with some luck, we also will get the first UK customer before summer. So there's a lot of interesting things in the different markets.
It's great to hear that our partners are getting interesting customer cases. And getting our partners up and running, selling RamBase into the market, there are some people working behind the scenes to make that happen. Let's take a look at our partner RamBase sales team that work hard every day to make our partners succeed.
My name's Tony Flanagan. I work for RamBase here in the UK as their business development manager. My role is to drive the building of a partner channel here in the UK for RamBase. And I also provide sales and marketing support for all the partners and to help them win new customers for RamBase.
Hi, I'm Fredrik Rasmussen. I'm the partner manager for Denmark and Sweden. So what we do is recruiting partners and maintaining the existing partners, and also expanded the growth of partners in each country.
My name is Anders Utbjo, and I'm the partner channel manager of Norway. But as most of you know, I like to call myself a true RamBase enthusiast. ERP will continue through many changes 2021, and we hope we can help you and your customers to reach those goals for the years to come.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Polkowski, and I am a channel sales and business development executive, helping to recruit, onboard and activate partners from RamBase. And my aim is to maximize the end customer, partner and RamBase value chain creation process.
My name is Bogusław Skwarna. I am a RamBase partner channel executive in Poland. My primary role is to recruit, enable and accelerate partners selling RamBase in Poland. And I'm a just professional with nearly 30 years experience in business development of IT market in Europe, Middle East and Africa.
So there you have our RamBase partner sales team. So as a RamBase partner, you're not all on your own. This team is dedicated to help our partners when it comes to sales activities. And can you tell us some more about this, Odd Magne?
Yes, the partner sales team is really there to support our partners in every aspect of the day-to-day life. Of course, they also work with recruiting new partners, but they support in pre-sales and in positioning towards the partners and customers. So we work a lot of digging up new leads, getting action in the channel actually. And we really want to take an active role in supporting our partners. We know by heart that ERP sales can be slow and tedious and complicated, and we want to do the best we can to support this process. And also we know that there's fierce competitions from all angles, so we need to keep together to actually be able to win this competition. And one of the things we really try to help with then is how to position RamBase in this competition in the best way possible. And we talked about Åbakke earlier. They come from a heavily modified M3 solutions on premise. And selling a standardized SaaS system, it's very different from this. And if we try to sell and position it the same way as this old solution was sold, we will lose. It won't fit. Even if it's still much of the same issues that we need to solve for the customers, we need to attack it in a different way. So this goes for positioning, it goes for pre-sale, it also goes for implementation strategy, sizing, etc. So everything we actually do in the sales process. We cannot do it the same way we did with the old offerings, then we will fail.
And I know that this is a huge topic, but Could you give us some more details about what you mean?
I could probably talk about this all day because I really care about this change. It's really important, and it's one of the reasons I work with RamBase and I started here in the first place. So there's a lot of new ways to attack this, but we can start a bit about sizing. How long does it take to implement RamBase? It's a standardized system with some tweaking and modifications, but then how long does it really take? I think we have to be better in sizing, and we have to be better in keeping to that size, and keep the other things away from that kind of standard size of the project. When we talk about data migration, integrations, and training and those kind of things, keep that away and work really closely with the kind of the real implementation cost of RamBase. So this is not done overnight. It's a challenging topic, and this is, of course, one of the topics we have for the webinar next week on how to size projects, the do's and don'ts, what we have learned over the past years, and also then provide some tools on how to do this and how to present this for the customer. So I think it's really important that all the pre-sales resources that the partners attend to this webinar to participate in the discussion and see how we can do this better together.
Mm. And joining our stream today, we have partners that have been with us since the beginning. We have new partners that have joined over the last year and some potential new partners. What would you say are the benefits of having RamBase as a solution?
Yeah, being a RamBase partner open up different revenue streams for the partner and for the right partners. And some, of course, will focus on standardized implementations and kind of building the recurring revenue with more and more users. I think others may and should take on larger integration projects and also modification projects. So there's different ways of doing this with advisory and with other ways to make money. Maybe something we haven't thought about yet either. So having RamBase in your portfolio gives the partner a modern offering for the customers and the opportunity, of course, to make money on the implementation process itself, but also on advisory and different services after the go-live phase.
And speaking of always releasing new features, let's take a look at the new features and functions that have been released by RamBase during the last year.
We're excited to update you on recent developments in RamBase and showcase some of the newly released features. Single sign-on functionality is activated, and customers are embracing how easy it is to access all their systems with only one username and password. The RamBase desktop is your first glance into the system, now with even more customizable widgets to provide you with relevant information on the go. Want an intuitive and easy-to-use planning board? With the Gantt Planner, you'll eliminate costly bottlenecks and plan your resource capacity with drag-and-drop functionality. Keeping track of multiple contracts and financial obligations have never been easier. With the new contract module, compliance is a breeze. Get valuable real-time insight on the go with our new mobile applications. Register and approve work hours, manage tasks, and dive right into the action from your smartphone. Our development department never sleeps, constantly releasing new features. Get ready for more exciting functionality in RamBase in the following months.
That was just some of the new features that we have launched since the last partner gathering, and a sneak peek of what's to come. And joining us for today's stream, we have Jan Ove Halvorsen from the product department. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We talked about features and functions during the last partner gathering as well, and since then a lot has happened. For new partners joining us here today, can you tell us a little bit about your department and your role in RamBase?
Yeah, so I'm part of the product management team, and the product management team is responsible for the strategic development of our product. This is of course a responsibility we take seriously. We try to keep an overview of what functionality the markets and the customer segments that we are targeting will be expecting from us in the future. And this is something that we do in close dialogue with partners, as you are our eyes and ears in the local markets. So based on this dialogue, and this is something that we plan to do more of going forward, but based on this, we manage the long-term roadmap. Our team also, of course, is involved with the development department and supporting them, because we have subject matter experts in our team that assist the development process.
And let's talk about what's important on the product side in RamBase. You have chosen 3 topics to talk about today. It's BI, business intelligence, portals, and mobile offerings. And let's start with the BI. Why is business intelligence something we should, our partners should care about, Odd Magne?
We have experienced over the last years that more and more of the customers are asking about BI solutions, so maybe especially Power BI. Our standard answer here has always been dump of CSV files and use of the REST API we have. So, and we have quite a lot of customers that have used these ways or these technologies to solve their problems, both for ad hoc analysis and also for making bigger data warehouses. But we are also very aware of that these solutions are somewhat tedious to work with. They haven't been really good documented for this purpose. And also that maybe the level of abstraction for the customers is too high. So the last year or so, we have kind of invested heavily in making better examples, better documentation, and also launching some new initiatives here. So the general message now for the partners is that we have different options, and you should choose what fits the customer the best. And we also believe that support for these features for the partner side is really important, because the customers are really really able to pay for a lot of advisory here, and the willingness to pay for the right kind of support when it comes to reporting can be quite high. So I think it's a good business opportunities for the partners as well. So we have 3 different approaches that we want to talk about a bit today, the first option is what we can call the standard API-based model, and our APIs are, as you are very well aware of, fully documented online, and the customers can use them for reporting and integrations. And we have customers who have made reports for this for quite a long time, and it requires some technical skills, and it has some other challenges. But Jan Ove, could you take us through a bit of this in detail?
Yeah, so we are now setting up some demo packages or example packages for how this can be done. We focus on sales reporting, CRM reporting, and of course finance reporting to show off how the API can be used for this kind of reporting. And we also plan to provide some better documentation for how to utilize the API for BI reporting. We are also looking into how we can improve and provide more report or BI-friendly APIs. This is the main message on this option, the API-based option, is that this is already there, it's out of the box, and it's ready for use.
And a more comprehensive example of this is what you are now doing together with BDO. Can you tell a bit about that?
Yeah, so BDO is setting up their own commercial offering. This is an offering that they already have in the market, and this is a BI platform. And they will now use our APIs to pull data from RamBase into this platform and provide this data then in some standard data models and standard reporting. So this this can hopefully then become a product that they can offer in the market and should generate some revenue for BDO.
Yeah, have you seen the results of it? Or?
We have seen. We had a demo of it last week. It looks really promising. And it's really impressive to see how far they have got in just a few weeks. Our part of this has been to provide the support for how to use the APIs, but all the heavy lifting has been done from their side. And of course, this is also very nice for us to know that our technology, our APIs are working really well in a scenario like that.
Yeah, we have a technical scheme of how it looks. Can you explain it a bit in detail?
Yeah, so this is again based on pulling data from RamBase through the REST API as mentioned, and to do that you need a so-called extract, transform and load engine. And for BDO this is simple because their platform, their BI platform, does have this built in.
Yeah, but you could also use Power BI for that.
You could, yes,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But you need to pull large sets of data out of RamBase through the API. You need, for example, to loop through the APIs and build up a large set of data. And that requires often an engine like this. But when you have done that, then you can do further modeling and data engineering on the data, and you can ingest that data further into the BI platform to do visualization and other analytical work, of course.
The second option on how to do this is really more of an update or some added functionality, a more intelligent way of using the RamBase standard reports. Can you explain a bit more in detail what this is?
Yeah, as we mentioned, for many years already, we have had customers that have been using our CSV files, the possibility to export the reports from RamBase or data in general from RamBase as CSV file and importing those into your own solutions. We have had that for a long time. The new thing here now is that we will allow for the customer to provide a database where these reports then can push data into. So that should be a good option for simpler reporting purposes, and it can be quite an efficient and productive way actually. But of course that will often generate, or they will often need some help from our partners in doing that.
Yeah, and let's see how this can look like a more technical way.
Yeah, so here you can see that this option then requires RamBase to have access to a SQL database. This could be hosted in public cloud. In this example, we showed this in Azure. This database must be provided and operated by the customer or you, the partner, on behalf of the customer. This option then allows us to schedule reports in RamBase, standard reports, to push data on regular intervals into this database. And you can then do further work on the data afterwards, using Power BI or Excel or other tools.
The final option to talk about is maybe the only one who is what is actually new here. The standard question from all BI nerds is just give me access to the full database and I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm that kind of guy.
And our answer has always been no, you won't get access. We are a SaaS solution, and access to the production environment or the database or any other part of the infrastructure for that sake is both viewed as a security risk and also something that others should just keep their hands off. Yeah. But we have made a quite good offering here now, and can you take us through the detail of what that is?
Yeah, in a way it's a quite simple setup, but it requires more from the customer side. You have to provide again a database where we can push data, but in this case you get a full copy in a way of your production data in RamBase. This of course means then that you need more competence on the customer side to use those data. We also we have a concrete customer that is using this already, and they have built very interesting reporting based on that.
Let's see how it looks on the screen here.
Yeah, so what you will notice here is that it looks very similar to the previous one, but from a technical point of view it's very different. We apply a technique here where every little change of the data in the production database is pushed through a pipeline and replicated near real time into the target database. And this is done for every change in any business data, in any table in the whole tenant database in RamBase, then from all the tables. This then allows for a much broader and more custom querying on the data than you can do in any of the other options.
What type of customers do you think this option is for?
Yeah, as this requires a lot more competency, specifically on the SQL competency to do all that because you have to build the queries yourself. So this requires more kind of data engineering competency on the customer side.
Yeah, but we will help them somewhat on the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we have made some examples, haven't we, or kind of standard queries that they can get to start from?
Yes, and we plan to build out that offering further going forward.
So it's always nice to show some examples. Colorful graph is also always a demo killer. So let's take a look at what the partners can expect or the customers can expect.
Yeah. So here we just show some examples, and of course this looks this is just standard Power BI, but these are all built on standard data from RamBase. But what we want to show here, and what I think is that these examples really show give some good ideas for how to use this potential.
Yeah, and what we hope to show is also that with these multiple ways of giving customers what they need, this could be a good offering, and it could also be a really good sales enabler to actually stand out from the competition here, but also as added value streams for the partners who have this competence offering to the customers.
Yes.
Moving on to the next topic, it's portals. We briefly talked about portals on our last partner gathering, but since then a lot has happened. Odd Magne, can you start off by repeating why portals are such a smart offering and why our partners should jump on this opportunity to look into the solution for their customers?
Yes, I'm probably the biggest fan of this offering. I've always liked it just from the idea came from the product management and development team. First of all, you see, there is a shift, and we all know this from kind of a consumer way, that we expect more of our suppliers. As customers, we expect to be more self-served and not having to rely on the companies we are using to kind of help us around. So this self-service thing we also see moving into the B2B area. So the simple way to think about this is, of course, shopping online and these kind of things, but also then in a B2B environment to be able to look at your own invoices, to know what you have in stock and those kind of things. So the whole society, I think, is moving in this direction, and it's about convenience, and it's also about kind of saving time and all of these kind of things. So it's a really kind of an expectation in the market. And when it comes to the business-to-business area here, there's still a lot of manual tasks and a lot of things that can be optimized, I think. So portals are a terrific way for businesses to tie into these kind of things, and also then to get a closer relationship with their customers.
Okay, and moving on to the technical part, how do these portals work?
So the most important message here is that the portal offering is a completely integral part of RamBase. The portal is RamBase in a way. So a portal user, being it, for example, referring to what Odd Magne mentioned, a supplier user or a B2B customer user, will log into RamBase like any other internal RamBase user. But because they are recognized as portal users, they are directed into the portal area of RamBase. And in that area of RamBase, they have access to their relevant data only. So the management of the portal users is very similar to how you manage internal users. So there's no need to learn a completely new way of doing that. And that also means, of course, that the security measures are the same as for internal users.
And that's a great point to make regarding the administration and training of a new system. Yeah. You often forget how how much time it takes to learn a new system. So that's a good benefit.
Yeah.
But what specifically do we offer in our portals?
Yeah, in a way you can say that the sky is the limit here. However, what is important, of course, is to identify what kind of functionality is relevant in a self-service way. And you have to go through the processes that involve external parties like suppliers and customers and think then through what does it make sense to put into the portal of functionality to make those processes more productive and efficient. And this is something that you, our partners, need to sit down with the customers and go through what are the most optimal processes to where you can use the portal. It's also worth mentioning that the portal is also a kind of an infrastructure where you can get creative in building new functionality, and you can use our frameworks and tools to build custom functionality. We will be providing some standard functionalities, and we will probably expand on that going forward, but here you can get creative and build your own.
And this custom functionality will be hosted on the RamBase environment, won't it?
Yes. The portal infrastructure is an integral part of RamBase, yes.
We have an example of a customer and supplier portal. Let's get a picture of that for our partners to see.
Yeah, so in what you see here is the landing page for a portal user. And in this example, you have both customer and supplier functionality. Of course, that will depend on the role of the user logging in. So normally you wouldn't see this for the same user. But in this case, the customer have identified 3 functionalities that are relevant for customer users and 2 functionalities that are relevant for supplier user.
And let's look at one of these applications. We have a picture of a pick list. Tell us some more about this application.
Yeah, so this application also shows, this is one of the portal applications, and this shows that the look and feel of the application is exactly the same as the standard RamBase applications. But we have removed some elements. We have removed the menu on the left, and we have simplified and made the application more targeted and productive in a self-service scenario. So in this example, the user can search for items, can add a quantity to be picked, can add the item to the basket, and then finalize the transaction completely by self-servicing. And as I mentioned, since the portal is an integral part of RamBase, there's no need for integration between the portal and RamBase. So when the self-service user is now finalizing the order, it just follows the normal order flow in RamBase afterwards.
And just to add that the feedback we have got on this portal offering is really great. So yes. It's nice to see that when we as an ERP vendor get dragged into the meetings where the customers are presenting this to their own customer.
Yes.
So suddenly we are kind of the enabler for them to really tie in their customers and suppliers really close to them. So this is a great way to really improve the business towards the customers, but also to be a much bigger part of their business. Mm.
And moving on to the last subject, mobile phones or mobile applications. During this pandemic, working from home, tending to kids and trying to manage your time, I love how easy it is to manage my time using the work hour log application. And that is just one of the many applications we have available on our mobile phone.
Yes, RamBase is a complex system, and a complex system is always based on a big screen. So there is no way about that, but moving around that. But for us, it has been to find the key applications and usage that can be done on smaller screens, and that is logical to do on smaller screens. So our phone is always with us, and some of the things we do day to day is really relevant to get out on the phone. So we have added applications that will be good contributions in this day-to-day working, I think.
And let's look at the homepage of our mobile app for those who haven't seen it yet. And Jan Ove, what is the latest addition to the mobile app that you find exciting?
Yeah, well, as many of our customers are manufacturers, as we know, this means that logging start and finalize operation in production on the shop floor is a central activity for their operators. I think the Works application could come in handy in that respect, and this could potentially reduce the need for workstations in the production area.
And we have a picture of the operation app as well.
Yeah, so in this screen you will see that you are able here to start an operation, pause it, finalize it. You can also do a complete picking for the operation and do other functions as well.
Yeah, and one of the really interesting things about this app is that it opened up some new possibilities on the shop floor and how to organize the work at the customer side.
Yeah.
Because we have been somewhat restriction here with the kind of relying on physical workstations, and even if we have this picking and handheld devices for picking and warehouse operations, this is new to get the mobile kind of functionality on the production stuff itself. So I think it gives the customers a chance to revisit how they have laid out the operations on the shop floor, and maybe for the partners to have some consultancy help with that also.
Yeah, and I think that in situations where access to the full RamBase functionality is seldomly needed, this could be a very flexible and good option. And this is, of course, what we look at when evaluating what kind of functionality makes sense to go on the smaller screens. And because it's always such that not all operations are suited for the smaller screens, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And Odd Magne, what is your favorite mobile application?
Well, I'm used to be on the run and out traveling. I'm looking forward to start doing that again. And then it's really handy with this Invoice Approval App. It's an easy way to get things done on the run, and it's a really good and effective app, I think.
Let's show the Invoice Approval App.
Yeah, and it's really simple and it's self-explanatory. You don't need much training to use this. And if you need to drill down or see more details, you can see the PDF invoice in behind if you need that. And other than that is just to approve it and get it out of the way. So I think the demo effect of this app is really important as well. When being in a customer situation and where the pre-sales team are really digging down in the details of production planning with the production manager, I have kind of leant over the table to the CEO and just shown this app on the side and show how easy it is, and it really gives a good effect.
Yeah. And then you have my favorite app, the Work Hour Log. Let's take a look at that. Tell us some more about this one, Jan Ove.
Yeah, as you can probably see, it's really easy to use. It's easy to get your predefined hours, and you can change them, and you just then send it directly for approval in the app itself. Yeah. So it's a really user-friendly and nice application.
And I think what is really important to mention here is that these apps work right out of the box. It's just to download the app from the App Store and log in with the user to either your demo environment or to your real environment for the customers, and there they are, and they work. And this is also true, of course, for existing customers. The apps are there, ready to use, no setup required.
Yeah, and I think it's important to encourage you, our partners, to really show these apps to the customers. And it's also worth mentioning that there is a potential also here on the mobile platform for partners to get creative with building new functionality, actually.
Yeah, so they can build their own apps on the mobile platform?
Yeah, so we use the same framework and tools for extending the mobile platform as we do for the portal platform.
Yeah.
And that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining our partner gathering. Hopefully next time we will be able to meet in person. And if you haven't already, remember to sign up for our partner sales workshop. That's next Wednesday. Thank you to our participants. Stay safe and bye for now.